Conversations with Craig and Kobie.
Welcome to another impactful episode of Conversations with Craig and Kobie. I am Craig King.
I am Kobie the Wiz, and here we are again.
Here we are. So Kobie.
Yes.
So
So
as you can tell, this is also finding your purpose, because if you watch part one,
yeah, we just couldn't let it go.
We couldn't let it go, and we were just like, we have to come back and attack it again, and talk about it and see what else comes. What comes on the other side of this conversation?
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like,
we never know.
We never know, but I knew we weren't done with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, it wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
So
we're here
again.
So we have a timer
and a topic.
So finding your purpose part 2.
Yes. And so those of you who have not been here with us before, this is unscripted. We don't have a script. We don't have questions. We don't have notes. We don't have a sketch. We have a topic and a timer.
That's right.
And so check out our earlier podcast, and you'll get it. But we want to jump into the second part and then kind of give a little recap of the last part for those of you who may be just tuning in. So our conversations are 40 minutes, and dare not go over that. Sometimes it goes a little bit over, but probably never longer than 42 minutes, 43. But once the timer goes off, we wrap it up. Sometimes, early on, we were beating the timer.
Yeah.
But it's getting good. So
let's go for it.
Go for it.
Let's go in.
Timer is up.
It's going.
So that last conversation.
Yeah.
Bruh. It got heavy.
It got heavy. Because I think we realized the magnitude of it. Because it went past what I began part 1 with, talking about how that statement is kind of cliche-ish. Mm-hmm. Like it's a cliche. You hear it all the time. Find your purpose. Living your purpose. Yeah. Yeah. All of those things, right?
Yeah.
And so we realized, and we knew it. We know. But like, to actually, it's like like this is a counseling session for us.
It is, bro. Like,
so it's like we realized this is heavy.
It is heavy. Like
the burden of carrying and exercising your purpose
is a real thing.
It's a real thing, and it can turn into a burden to the point of when you acknowledge that you're not exercising your purpose like you should be.
Like you should be. And you should be.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's different when you're like in search. You know what I mean? But it's another thing when you have found it, but then either fight or run from it, or just don't exercise it.
And in the vein of New Year's or New Year, in the new year, we treat it like a resolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to something.
If I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, it'd be nice.
Right.
You know what I mean? To you work out. But if I don't, then.
But your conviction, Kobie, in part 1 really convicted me. Because when I brought up the concept of it's really like a bartering system, and then when you took it to that level,
I didn't know.
You weren't ready. You didn't know. You weren't ready, because when I saw, and it's not funny because you were crying, but it's like
it's funny because it was like, wait a minute, this is.
I was like, because internally I was like, bro, you gonna be good. Is it? Yeah. And then I felt that magnitude because when you acknowledge that and you accept it, and you don't gloss over it,
right?
You realize my purpose was birthed with me.
Yes, it came. It came. It showed up when you showed up.
So when my mother had me,
It was here.
it was here, and things leading up to it were part of the manifestation of that purpose and me realizing whether it was through pain or through the love of something that was tied to my talents or my gifts.
Yeah, so you can look at that. So it's now, right, on this side, like at 44, I can now look back and see, oh, I see how that, man, oh, okay, that's what that was for. Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah, like you see like the preparation, like it's preparing for you for something. And then
Go ahead.
yeah, at the
I'm
same
having one of the moments right now that you had last part one. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
yeah, you see how it's preparing you, and that had that preparation not been there, that when you got here, like you wouldn't have been ready.
Wouldn't have been ready.
You wouldn't have been ready. Like you wouldn't have had what you needed had you not have gone through what you went through.
Wow. And so that moment I had just now, and I'm starting to feel it now. Whatever you had, you done threw it over here, man.
That's the part two, bro.
Yeah.
This is your turn.
But so sometimes when we are operating, we're starting how did you phrase it? Something with the purpose. When you are, what'd you say last?
What?
Not the manifestation of it, but like as you're going through the purpose. It wasn't exercise. I thought you said something else. Maybe I dreamed that.
No. When I was talking about the, I said the pain.
Not practicing your purpose. Maybe it was exercising your purpose. Maybe that was it. So when you're in that process of exercising your purpose or your purpose, it was something else. It'll come to me though. But in that process of your purpose being revealed to you and you doing things and being in situations, sometimes when you have put so much good into the world and you have operated in that bartering system and you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing that's benefiting somebody else, somehow the universe and God will bring that to you in the form of an opportunity that you didn't think you were worthy of. And I thought about, and it comes at times that you like, I never saw an opportunity for me to present at an international conference coming this way. So I was on vacation in the April of 2009. Yeah, April of 2009, I was on vacation. Me and my best friend were in the Dominican Republic, chilling out by the pool. Another black couple were sitting beside us. Ended up being Deb Brown. Shout out to Deb, who had roots in Utahville, South Carolina. Those of you know who Utahville is. But anyway, I think either she was or her husband was from there. Anyway, they were graduates. One of them or both of them were graduates at SC State. And she was over professional development for ASCD. The ASCD. Yeah.
That's strong.
She was the PD person for ASCD. And so she's since retired, but at that time she wasn't. She asked us what we did, and we both were in education. At the time, I had 5 years of teaching under my belt. Are you doing presentations? I'd done one or two things at my school, one thing at the district level, nothing like a conference. She said, well, send me a proposal. I was like, okay. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay.
All right.
Small talk at the vacation.
You know how people are like, just send me something. Okay.
Just send me something.
I'll do it.
Kobie. I hear back and she says, Craig, I am taking a chance on you. Those are her exact words. I've never heard of you. You don't have any books. You're not a doctor. Usually the people we have are established. You know, ASCD is like trial and error. They bring you there, you don't do well, you're not getting invited back. It's just one of those things. And so she gave me a primetime slot on a Sunday morning, 3 hours.
Woo!
And let me tell you how nervous I was about this, Kobie. When I flew up to Chicago to do the conference, I'm a big Bulls fan. The Bulls were playing the night before at home. I was so nervous I didn't go to the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you was.
She took a chance on me.
So you're like, I cannot let her down.
I can't let her down, and so I killed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, opportunities started coming. I presented at ACD in St. Louis, National Harbor, Maryland, DC. So things opened up for me, started opening up to me. And then other opportunities here in South Carolina opened up for me. Mm-hmm. Like spoke at the Summer Institute for Teachers in Beaufort County. And I still remember the day, Nakia Campbell, who really opened my eyes to how your purpose, the things that you would do for free, that you talked about in part one, figuring out how you monetize that. Mm-hmm. And I remember I didn't know like how budgets work and how I should how I should charge as a consultant and all those things. My purpose was to inspire teachers, but I hadn't figured out that part. Part of it. Even though I would do that for free,
what does it look like?
What does it look like when someone's paying me? Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to navigate that. And so she really served on the road to like me understanding my purpose, even though I would do it for free, knowing that we live in a world where you need to be paid.
Yeah, you do. For
your talents and your gifts.
Absolutely.
And I share the story all the time, and I probably I don't think I've shared it with you.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. But she said, how much do you charge?
No, you ain't shared this.
She said, how much do you charge? Kobie, I knew nothing about budgets.
So I don't know.
And I said, take a guess. What do you think I saw? I said,
$500.
What?
$500.
I said $100, Kobie.
She laughed.
She laughed. She laughed me at me on that phone. Didn't know me from anything.
She laughed because I would laugh.
She laughed.
Like, what are you talking about?
She
like,
said,
you don't do
she
this.
said, she went back. She said, Craig, you're speaking to over 600 teachers, and I want you to do 2 breakout sessions. And you're gonna charge me $100, and you live in Orangeburg, and we're in Beaufort, and you have to stay down here. And so at the time, they had the superintendent of the district and the principal of the year for ASCD were the speakers. They needed one more. They asked Craig, a 3rd grade teacher, in Orangeburg.
Right.
Who does that?
Who are you, bro?
Who are you? And she said the only reason...
Because you spoke at those.
The only reason she contacted me because she saw me on the ASCD website, which I was on there because I was on vacation in the Dominican Republic, and Deb Brown decided to take a chance on me.
Look at
so that. I owe so much to Deb for just taking a chance on little old Craig.
Right.
And saying, boom.
There you are.
So fast forward, she said, at a minimum, you should charge me $1,800.
Minimum. That's a low. That's still free.
That's at a minimum. And so then I learned the importance of, yes, my purpose is for other people, right? The teachers that attended that session, I know that what I gave them changed the trajectory of their teaching practice. I know it transformed their pedagogy. I know that they inspired their kids because I was there, right? I know that. Just like I know the 7 years I taught 3rd grade, I changed the trajectory of those kids' lives because I see it and I know it. I know what's in me. I know what was birthed to me.
To you.
That what God put in me. And so I share that story just for people out there. You know, it's not about that. Hope from that story you don't just take away, oh, I need to charge $2,000 for speaking. Oh, yeah. But look at it. Like, because the people along that journey, like so many things happen for me and other people. Going back to like the people that are blessed because you're operating in your purpose, those 600 plus teachers, I got paid that amount of money or whatever. Great, right?
But they're still carrying you with them.
Yeah. I'm still omnipresent in their teaching practices, even though they may not remember, where did I get this strategy from? This was 11 years ago. Maybe they do remember me. But maybe it's showing up in what they're doing. And when you're operating your purpose, that's a lot.
Yes.
That is a gift in itself.
Yeah. So your purpose is for you, but it's not for you.
So if you're only utilizing your purpose to get a check,
right? You're not using it right.
You're not using it right.
You're missing it.
You're missing it.
Like you getting a piece of it, right? That's the gift. That's your purpose. It's making room for you. Like, That's a part of it, but you're missing the other piece, right? Which is the internal gratification, the the understanding of I am doing what I was birthed to do, right? So that whole part you'll miss because it's about what did I say? Persevering through and to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So once you recognize it, then this is a thing. Like the universe is required to test you. Like it's required. Like
Yeah.
like you're gonna be tested.
Gonna be tested. Yeah.
Right? And then all of the preparation that's happening. So when you get into the point of utilizing and then growing your purpose. So all of that, it's not as simple as I found my purpose. Right?
So as an entrepreneur, I want to, as a full time entrepreneur,
Mhm.
I'm a workpreneur. I have a 9 to 5 job, but also an entrepreneur. But as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
knowing that your purpose and you're operating in that purpose, knowing that this is something that provides for your family, your girls, and your wife. Talk about that and how you work through your purpose when it comes to that.
Well,
Because I think some of our viewers and listeners are probably at that point.
Mhm.
Because there's somebody out there that was at the point where I was when I got asked to speak to over 600 teachers,
Mhm.
and I probably still shortchanged myself
Oh yeah,
with what I asked for.
for sure. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so there are
I'd have
people
been
out-
like 600. I'd be like,
yeah.
can we afford 6,000? Like,
Yeah.
is that possible? Like, you know what I mean? Because so there's a whole nother piece, but yeah, man. So when I first started dating, uh, and um, me and Ash were like start to like seriously consider. Uh, we had a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Are you sure you want to get on this bus?" Because
That's, yeah, go ahead.
this right here, like we're dating right now, and you you see it, like we're in a long distance relationship, and I'm traveling, I'm gone, sometimes 7 to 10 days a month, and this is not gonna slow down like anytime soon. And I'm not saying that this is gonna be forever,
Right.
but I know for a fact for at least the next 10 to 15 years, this is what it's gonna be. So we're gonna be having kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And I'm still gonna be traveling. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm operating, it may look different. I don't know, but I know this is definitely going to be a part of the equation.
Yeah.
And so I need you to count up the cost because I don't want to hear like you're always gone,
Yeah.
you're never here.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got kids. Like I'm telling you now,
Yeah. Count the
like
cost.
this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I'm I can't give this up
Mm-hmm.
because that's not like this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't belong to me. You know what I mean? And I know that I have to get this out. And um, so I mean if you're good with that, then we can rock. But I need you to because I know, right? About 2 to 3 years, and you're gonna be like, man, this is getting like you. Why are you not? And I was like, and so I was like, I need you to remember this conversation
Yeah.
because this is what you're saying, and I don't want you to think about this. Like I'm gonna get in, and then
I'm gonna change them.
because I'm telling you, I'm just not built like that.
Right.
So if that is your agenda, I am letting you know that that is an agenda that is going to fail.
Yeah.
And so it's been tough. And like I said, like during the whole pandemic, I was like, we've been together almost 10 years, and that was the first time in 10 years that we had been together more than 60 days straight.
Wow. How was that?
60 days was cool. 90 days was different.
Yeah. Because from her side of it, I can see it being, I'm used to having my space.
It's both of that, right?
It's both of that. It's like twofold for both of you guys.
Right. So it was literally, I won't say killing me, but it was because I wasn't in purpose.
Mm. Yeah, COVID of the mind.
That COVID, right.
Mhm.
I was not in purpose. And not being in purpose was tough for me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily about, I mean, we missed the opportunity. Like, let's be clear. Like the money was like that was an issue. But the work,
Mm-hmm.
I miss the work. I miss the utilization of my skills and talents and abilities. Like and connecting.
Because this is something that you have realized that if you could, you would do it for free.
Right.
So
I end up doing some of that, and that's when I realized, like, oh, this is really what I am put here for. Like, because literally not doing that, not doing what I felt like I was put here to do, like, I was sad about it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because most people be like, hey, man, you got to be home. You got to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And I would be like, well, yeah, but I say this all the time when when I'm like negotiating contracts, and like, that really helped me to see that, you say some stuff and over time you're like, but I used to say that, like, it's really, for me, it really is about the work.
Yeah.
That other people are going to come in and they'll see if they can, snatch and grab, they do it and run. But for me, it really was about doing the work.
And you shared a story earlier about that. You shared the story about the principal where y'all went out to dinner or something.
Oh yeah.
And he saw you as yourself, the same that he saw presenting to the teachers, and he was like, "You like for real?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this is like you." Because normally when I'm taking our speakers out, they're like
different.
phony.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, bro, like
you the real deal.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, bro, like the me you're getting is the me you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I've gone and done a couple, presentations and PTAs, and those are tough. Sometimes I've made that part, and they come apologizing like, man, we don't know how many people are gonna show up, and we don't want you to have to do it. I said, look, bro, if it's 50, if it's 5,
Yeah.
if it's 500, like you're gonna get the same level of energy and the same level of presentation that I was going that they was gonna get. And I think that that's part of it, is because it's not about the quantity of people as it is about the quality of the effort and energy that you exude and put out that may impact how many ever are in the room. And people want to do the numbers, right? But I want to speak before tens of thousands. Like, yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But tens and hundreds matter too.
They do.
You know what I mean? And maybe even more so. So I say that to people who are out. Don't get so caught up on the amount of people that you're reading because it doesn't. The amount of people doesn't always speak to the quality.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the people who take your stuff and really impact it. Like I would rather speak to 10 people who I know they're gonna take the information and implement it, right? Than to speak to 1,000 people who are just gonna apply and be like,
Yeah.
man, that was good.
Yeah. You know what prepared me for Chicago? Speaking to what you just said, probably a year prior to that, I was, let's see, at the time, National Board Certification had a process where you just do like one portfolio entry called Take One.
Mhm.
And so I presented at a conference at Anderson University. And it was fairly new. Take One was fairly new. And my first out of district conference. This was before Chicago, at ASCD. And I was so excited. Like ecstatic. Like I was so happy to present at this conference. Like because I felt the purpose. It was just
Validated.
I can't explain it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I get to my room early, obviously, setting up everything good. Had my helper, which was an Anderson University education major, and she was in the back of the room ready to hand out my stuff and all that good stuff. Session starts. People start going down the hallways, filling in the classrooms. Nobody in my classroom yet. I go to the hallway, look out, see a few people still straggling around. Oh, they're going to come to my session. They look around. Nobody comes. Nobody shows up to my session.
Nobody.
And so I could do a few things because they only gave me one session. It was fairly new, whatever. So I could pack up, head home, or whatever. I decided to present what I was going to present to the student.
Yes. That's so strong.
I decided she was far from even being able to even do National Board Certification. But she sat down. I presented to her like she was 100 and 200 people and gave it. I
gave her
fire. And so Tracy, I think it's Tracy Sweet or Sweat. I can't remember. I think it's Tracy Sweet, who was in the district at the time. She was kind of running the conference. And I remember her taking me to lunch afterwards. And she was just like, thank you, Craig. And she was just like, you could have folded. You could have said, hey, nobody came and been bitter about it or upset or whatever. But and when I was done, that student teacher, she was just like, wow, I want to be a National Board Certified teacher. Like, I want to do this.
Mission accomplished.
And so fast forward, that experience of that energy and giving it to a room of 35 or 40 that I thought it was going to be, giving it to one, and then going to Chicago, even having that nervousness about an international conference, but having 100 people in front of me in this large ballroom, being mic'd up. I've been mic'd up before at a conference.
Microphone
check.
What?
Give me a microphone. And just having that confidence in that moment to just give it to them in Chicago, it makes me think about those moments like Anderson University, like 2007, 2008, where I did that conference and no one showed up. And so
that's part of the preparation.
All you need is one. Don't get it. And Kobie talked about it in part one, and I think in part two a little bit just now. Don't get caught up in the number of times people share your content or like your flyer, whatever. Focus on the impact that you can make, the quality that you're providing people that is connected to your purpose.
Yes, because that's the thing, right? That's part of the preparation and the perseverance is in doing the work.
Doing the work.
Right? It has to be about the work. And if it's something short of that, right? If your intentions are less than true and pure, like it'll show up. You'll see it. You'll be found
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And in the character of that moment.
Mhm.
Like doing that.
That's so big, bro.
Because that carries with people. But that teacher who I don't remember her name, you know, if you pay me $1 million, I couldn't figure out her name.
Strong right now. See if she like went through her thing and then got nasty.
Yeah. So if somehow you were a student at Anderson University and you were in that session when it was just you, because you have to remember that.
That
like,
would be magical.
You have to remember that. So if you are that teacher or you know that teacher who may have shared that story with you, reach out to me, man. I want to.
Bruh, if that, listen, bro.
Even if they didn't become national board, if they just became a phenomenal teacher, because that's
happens.
Because that experience you wouldn't forget.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, bruh. That's strong. But so here you go, right? Purpose and impact.
Yeah.
You don't even know, like,
Go ahead.
So what if?
What if?
That whole preparation for presentation was designed to be just for her.
There was some prep behind it.
What if?
Wow.
What if, right? Like God knew, like, no. Because if there's a bunch of people in the room, she's not going to get.
She's just going to focus on handing out papers.
But what if it was really for her?
Yeah.
So that's the power, right, of being prepared and not despising your small beginnings, because it's in the persevering, right, through and to get to your purpose, all those things that you do, that you never know the lives that you're going to impact and how their lives. So, the movie, The Old Guard. You seen it on Netflix?
I need to watch that.
Oh, bro.
I saw it keeps flying up.
Listen.
I hadn't watched it.
Listen. Netflix, if you'd like to be a sponsor, we'll be welcome that. But
we would love it.
We would love it. But that movie talks about how.
Wait, is it the one where the soldier takes the form of like another soldier from a different time?
No, so like they're X-Men. Wolverine.
It's like a team of them, right?
It's a team of them, right?
I think I did see that.
So when like Joan of Arc and like there's a team of them and they couldn't die.
I saw it.
What I'm saying?
I saw that movie.
And then
I saw it.
The black girl was like the new one of them. And so how at the end they saw like, well, you saved this person's life.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, who saved this person's life, who end up creating, the vaccine for, measles and mumps, and this person who created this person who end up, stopping like the atom bomb. Like, so it's just the impact that you have on one life, like literally echoes throughout time. And
so what is your echo?
Yeah, so your purpose, so you operating in your purpose and moving in that, like I said, you may think it was, for some people, it's a big thing, right? We look at movie stars and all that stuff, and other people, creating, cures for disease, like all of that. But just impacting a 3-year-old, or, a 5-year-old or a third grader who ends up, you talk them into going to college, and because they went to college, they end up meeting, the right person, and because they meet the right person, they end up getting married, and because they get married, they end up having a kid who ends up doing something amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like changing the planet in a different, like you just never know.
Power of the decision.
Yes. So that's the piece, right? So recognizing that and finding this thing that's in you, this answer, this problem that you're supposed to solve and impact, that there is, excuse me, a process, in that in living it, you may not see it until later.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you recognize it, but there's some other stuff, in life that you're going to impact that you may never hear about.
Right. Incredible.
Yeah, you may never hear about.
And that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it is okay. And so, like, that's what gets you up doing, feeling like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to the best of your ability. And when right? So, giving your best, what does your best look like? So, 4 agreements, uh, Don Miguel Raul, I think it is. Um, you read that book?
Mm-mm.
4 agreements. Get it. Pick it
4
up.
agreements.
You'll thank me. You're welcome. It'll piss you off, but it'll change your life too. Right?
I like it already.
Yeah. Like the 4 agreements is always do your best. You know what I mean? Never take uh, anything personal. And then um, what are the other 2 agreements? But those are 2 of the 4. But if you just do any of, if you can get mastered like 2 of the 4, like you'll change your life.
Mm-hmm.
But that always do your best, and those that never take anything personal, like those are the 2 of the agreements that are like, ooh, like don't take it personal.
That's a big one.
Dude, it's huge. But getting back to that first one, right? Your best looks like something. And the only person who really knows if you're giving your best.
It's you. What did Will say? Will Smith say in the video?
What do you say? The self-discipline, like you
Through,
cannot.
through self-discipline is the only way that you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, material wealth and all that.
Yeah.
You'll never get it until you learn to discipline yourself.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's that self-discipline, like disciplining your mind, right? That's what he was talking about. Until you learn to discipline your mind, and that is where the real battle is fought.
Mm-hmm.
Like every day is here. Like winning that space between your.
Because once you believe that you can accomplish anything, whether it's monetary,
Mhm.
an actionable goal, something, a thought process, or whatever, once you convince yourself that it can happen, then it'll happen.
Right, but that's what we talked about right on the break when we talked about all things are possible to them that believe. Like the only reason why we got into space is somebody believes.
Somebody believe it.
Like that it could happen. Like the fact that we have phones is that somebody believed. Like I believe that we could probably talk to somebody and they not be here.
I believe you could write a book in 7 days.
I didn't believe that. I was forced to show that the belief could happen, but bruh, listen, like, but that's the power of believing something amazing is that we shock ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like until somebody does it, right? So what's the dude, Roger? What's your call it? Who ran the 4 minute mile?
Oh yeah. I actually witnessed somebody run a 4 minute mile when I was in high school.
But watch. So the thing is that they were always talking about this 4 minute mile, like nobody's gonna break a 4 minute mile. It can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe like the year that he did it, like 2 or 3 other people did it. Like somebody's gotta be first. Somebody's gotta carry the belief for everybody else.
Yeah.
So until somebody else does it, right? Then it enhances like, oh, it can be done. Right?
So when you operate in your purpose and when you do that effectively, whether it's the first to do something or not, but you are inspiring somebody to say that can say, I can do it because Kobie did it or because Craig did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's so dope. Like I was watching this one Olympics commercial. It was so dope. And this might have been like a year ago, but it was like somebody's like they broke the world record in like swimming, and like she was watching it on the Olympics like a little kid. She might have been 12, 13, watching it on the Olympics. And she was a swimmer. They showed her going to swim practice and all that stuff, and they watched the Olympics, and then they showed the girl breaking the world record, and then it was like in 4 years, like you could be in the Olympics too, and so she wrote the number, like the time and the world record, and like pasted it on her thing. And then it showed her like every day going to practice, cooking the thing. Like I was like, that is. But she was training, like for the next 4 years. She's like, that's gonna be me, and like this is my time. This is my target. So I'm like, that is when somebody else that you never know who you're going to inspire to do something just because you're doing what you're meant to do.
Mm-hmm. She put a date on it too.
Put a date on it.
4 years.
Systems. The way these things are
It's
together,
everything's just like folding together naturally.
It is, bro. So this was such a good idea. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah,
This is so good.
we did it.
We're doing it.
We are doing it. And y'all are listening and
Y'all
watching it.
listening and watching it. Ah, this is dope.
I'm laughing at myself right now because I was like, man, you think we're gonna be able to do a part 2?
Yeah, you think we'll have enough to carry through? Like, bro, let me tell you what I'm not worried about.
Yeah,
That.
not worried about that.
Not worried about that. Because, like, it is. And it's kind of like, you want it to be good conversation, right? You don't want to feel like it's forced, and you don't want to feel like you're just killing air and space.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's important, though. You know what I mean? But that's the beauty of being in a conversation with someone
No.
who
The time is up.
the time is up. But
Go ahead and finish your thought.
that's the beauty of being in conversation with somebody else who you know is like got substance and can give. And I think like part of that is not of us not knowing, is all of everything about each other.
Yeah,
Is
that helps.
That helps.
That helps a lot.
Helps a lot. So
But
yeah, man.
Part 2. I'm glad we
Part
did
2.
it.
I'm glad we did it, bro. Like that was good.
Yeah, it was real good. It was great.
It was. I can't wait to like listen and like watch.
Because when we rewatch
Ah,
and listen to this again, we're going to even get so much out of
because
it.
we're gonna be in a different space.
Because you're in a different space. All right, guys. Hey, make sure that you are following us
Yes.
on social media
All
at
social-
Craig and Kobie,
Yes.
CraigandKobie.com.
Mhm.
Also, subscribe to this podcast.
Yes. YouTube.
Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, what we're wearing.
Yep, what we're wearing.
So we do this part at the end for those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel. You get to see us, right? But for those of you who listen to podcasts, you guys don't get to see us. So we like to give you a picture of kind of, what we got on, so you can see we're sitting here, got black couches today. I am rocking a purple hoodie pullover with 1911 on it with the crest of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the good bros.
Shout out.
And I have on a black hat that has the Wiz on it. DA is in capital letters in purple. The Wiz is in gold, all caps. And just rocking some jeans, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm rocking my boy Brian Brian's journey. Brian was diagnosed with neurosarcoidosis in 2016. Former All-Pro athlete in high school and in college at Clemson University. Was diagnosed in 2016. Has an amazing wife, Torrin, and son, Jaden. And he has lost the use of his limbs, and he's just on the journey back, not only physically, but also inspiring everybody he comes in contact with. So shout out to Brian. And he is also the reason why I am a San Francisco 49ers fan. And when I was in fourth grade, want to say his uncle, Dave Waymer, that played right alongside Ronnie Lott. But he's most notable known for playing for the New Orleans Saints. But I became a 49ers fan because of Brian. But anyway, shout out to Brian's Journey. Check out the hashtag on social media. See how you can support him. Very inspirational brother. So that's what I'm wearing today.
Amen. Till next time, y'all.
This was
Conversations
with Craig and Kobie.
Till next time.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Conversations with Craig and Kobie.